Another video this week. And this week I wanted to chat a little bit about um, the holidays. Right? We're right in the middle of it right now. Thanksgiving has passed. Um, Halloween has been over. And we're on our way to Christmas and New Year's. So kind of right in the middle of it here. And so I think it's good to have a discussion every year about what to do during this time because it's hard. It's really hard from a health perspective to navigate the holidays. And I probably should have recorded this earlier before we got to Halloween and Thanksgiving, but I know now is better than any other time of the year because over the next few weeks you're gonna be having a lot of social engagements. Definitely Christmas, if you celebrate Christmas, but really all people of all kind of backgrounds celebrate some types of holidays over the coming weeks. I know Hanukkah starts soon, and then we have New Year's, and then kind of coming down from New Year's. Um, so, how do we just you know deal with all the onslaughts of different health issues, or just maintaining our health over the next several weeks? And so, um, I'm going to start off with the most popular topic everyone talks about, but maybe is, in my opinion, probably not the most important thing this time of year. And I'll explain why, which is weight loss. Like people are always like, everyone's in the middle of some kind of weight loss journey, or most people are, and they they're just really concerned. Like this time of year just makes it impossible. And because what I just said, it makes it impossible. What I really tell my clients to do is like this time of year when it comes to weight loss is really just about maintenance. Like if we can navigate from now until, or from Halloween till after the New Year's, and be roughly the same weight, um, you're golden. You won. Like you win the game. I know there's a lot of research that looks at like how much weight people actually gain over the holidays, and it's usually a couple pounds, maybe. I think it's not as much as people kind of might make it out to be. And again, that's on average, but a couple pounds on average. The issue is that people generally then don't lose that weight, and so those couple pounds kind of add up over the years. So um, it's not a terrible amount of weight if you do usually gain weight, and it would be hard to actually lose that weight. But most people don't have the practices the rest of the year, the other 11 months out of the year, to lose whatever weight they gain during the holidays if you happen to gain weight. So even if you do gain weight, no big deal. Like everything we talk about on this channel can help you easily lose the couple of pounds that you may have gained over the holidays. Don't use that as an excuse to go hog wild. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying like our ultimate goal leaving the holidays from a body weight perspective is to just be roughly the same weight as when you went into it. I think trying to continue on a diet if you're trying to lose weight is extremely difficult, because there's just too many things that um, people have from a social engagement perspective, and they're either feel completely deprived, which tends to lead to overeating at some point, or they're miserable, or they just say screw it and go off the rails anyway. So in my opinion, there's no real good reason to continue dieting over the holidays. I think you should just put it into maintenance mode. And as I've talked about before, having diet breaks is really good for those who have been dieting for a long period of time. So the holidays tend to be a great time to take a diet break. And by diet break, I mean just eating at maintenance and trying to maintain your weight. It allows you a little bit more food freedom, allows you to enjoy some more foods that you maybe would avoid if you were on diet, and allows you not feel deprived, and allows you to be more socially engaged, and not have to worry about that. So I think that putting your diet on maintenance, eating a little bit more food is good. Personally, the way I've set myself up here is I'm going into a weight gaining phase. So, if I put on a couple pounds over the holidays, it's actually moving me towards my goal as opposed to away from my goal. So that's not a bad thing. And as I'll be explaining in some upcoming blog posts, But not everyone has structured their yearly diet plan like I have to set myself up for that. But if you happen to be looking to put on some muscle mass, now would be a good time to indulge in a little bit more food around the holidays because there's plenty of it around. So basically, summary is most people just want to try and maintain their weight. They don't want to try and lose weight. Just that means eat at maintenance. If you can navigate from October to January without putting on, roughly the same body weight, maybe it's up 1 or 2 pounds, no big deal. That's going to all come off very quickly after the holidays, and you set yourself up pretty good for the rest of the year. Now, that's just the weight thing, which is most people are concerned about. But there's a lot of things that go into that body weight thing that people often ignore that are also compromised around this time of year, and that's all the stuff that we talk about that doesn't get as much attention. So let's start off with exercise and movement. Life is busy. It gets extremely busy right now, and people have a hard time sticking to their exercise and movement routines. Um, in my opinion, it is more important to exercise and move your body this time of year than it is to try and eat perfectly. Because the exercise and movement will put all those calories to good use, right? Like I always like write in my Thanksgiving email, happy Thanksgiving, blah blah. If you happen to eat a big Thanksgiving meal, make sure you get to the gym next day because your workout is bound to be fantastic. Um, I love having a big holiday meal and the next day going to the gym and absolutely crushing it. Like it makes me feel so good. Again, that doesn't mean like going to town and like eating like a jerk and making yourself full to the point where you don't feel good, and that way you don't you know your sleep is compromised, you drink too much alcohol, and then you try to go to the gym next day and try to crush it and you feel like absolute garbage. No, I'm saying to eat a lot of eat a lot of the meat, eat a lot of the veggies, eat a lot of um, potatoes and stuff like that. Have a a reasonable portion of dessert, and then head to the gym next day and absolutely smash it. Maybe it's a heavy lifting session, maybe it's um, a high intensity interval workout or something like that. But I always find that if I play my cards right at these holiday meals, that it sets me up for like epic performances in the gym the next day. And I think that's awesome because you're putting those calories to good use, um, and not just wasting them sitting on the couch the next day. Same thing goes with the day of a big meal. Like the day of the big meal, try to get in some kind of workout. Try to go for a walk. Get your 10,000 steps in. Play it just like any other day you normally would, if you possibly can. Like I know it can be very busy, especially you're hosting people, that type of thing. But if you like can wake up in the morning and get in some kind of workout and some kind of movement on that day, awesome. Like like that helps with that big meal that you might be having the rest of the day. So getting in your 7 to 10,000 steps every day over these next month and a half, and really planning your workouts around those big meals to like if you have a hard workout coming up, like making sure you have a big meal the day before and go in the next day and crushing it, like that's awesome, and sticking to some kind of reasonable workout routine. I'm not saying you have to work out every single day. You can't miss a day on Christmas or on New Year's or on Thanksgiving or something like that. I'm just saying, like, you know, if just don't ignore exercise altogether. Like, find a way to exercise and move your body over the next month and a half, and don't let it slip. And don't fall into a routine that's going to make it hard come January to get out of that rut that you're in. Exercise and regular movement throughout the day is only going to be beneficial during these times of years and navigating holidays. And that's also plays into the next thing, which is sleep. These big meals, celebrations, all these types of things can really negatively impact our sleep. We can have a lot of late nights. We can really just, not pay attention to our best sleep practices. Alcohol consumption comes into play oftentimes around the year, and navigating alcohol consumption is a whole different, you know, uh, discussion that we should probably have a separate day. But like, there's just a lot of things playing against the sleep habits because of all the social things that are happening. So everything from eating foods that you might not be used to alcohol consumption to just being up late because you have a lot of social engagements, being out late. The kids' routines getting disrupted, them being home from school once they're on Christmas break. All that stuff plays into our sleep habits, and we want to make sure that we again that we can maintain them as best as we possibly can over the next, month or so, right? So sticking to your sleep routine, making sure you're getting up and going to bed at the same day and time. Oh, sorry, same time most days. If you have a couple late nights, no big deal. But I'm not talking about like having 3 weeks worth of late nights. I'm talking about, you have a late night on Christmas, you have a late night on New Year's Eve, you have a late night, a couple other times, no big deal. But if you're, just throwing everything sleep wise out of the window because it's Christmas and I have all this stuff to do and whatnot. End of year work engagements and stuff like that. Like, don't do that. Like, you have to prioritize, keep that sleep routine in place, and making sure you're prioritizing sleep so you can recover and get in some level of healthy, restful, restorative sleep. And exercise helps you get there, right? So when you start throwing out exercise, it can start to negatively affect your sleep, on top of all the other things that we just talked about as far as disrupting sleep. So you're just stacking the deck against you, and you don't want to do that. And then finally, we have to talk about stress because it is a stressful time of year, right? It is certainly stressful. There's a lot of, like I said, end of year type of things that need to get done. There is the shopping, there is the planning, there is the cooking, there is the family drama, there is never mind all the other craziness that's happening in this world today. On top of all that, so like stress can be at an all-time high during this time of year. And what I really encourage you to do is to really double down on those stress management practices that work for you, right? Maybe it's meditation, maybe it's walking, maybe it's sitting in the sauna, maybe it's reading a book, maybe it's coloring, maybe it's whatever your stress relief practice is. Like, double down on that. Like, you need, if you do one session a day normally, when you're feeling stressed out, do 2 sessions a day, or make it a little bit longer. Do that extra 5-minute meditation, go for that extra 5-minute walk, um, spend a little bit of extra time reading at night before bed, that type of stuff. But maybe take in less stress from the outside world. Don't read as much news, or don't look at social media as much, or whatever. Like, you have to mitigate the additional stress load of the holiday season some way. And so it's either adding more stress management practices to your routine, or taking stress out somewhere else, right? We don't want to take stress out by not exercising, because we just talked about how exercise is going to be beneficial all around. So that's not really where we want to cut out exercise in this case, or minimize stress in this case. We want to keep that in the game, in the picture. So we have to cut it out somewhere else. So look for other places to either cut it out or add in some extra stress management best practices. Personally, how I navigate these holidays is I pick and choose, and this is how I encourage my clients to, as well, as I pick and choose my celebration days, right? Like, I know for myself, we have a big, Thanksgiving dinner. So I eat all the food on Thanksgiving. Great. I also know that we have a big party at my house on Christmas Eve. And again, I'm going to eat all the food on Christmas Eve, and I'm going to enjoy myself, right? And then my birthday is on New Year's Day. So I know New Year's Eve / New Year's Day is, that's my birthday. So I'm going to enjoy myself. So I have 3 days there where I know that I'm really going to enjoy myself. I'm not going to let myself, go, I'm not going to limit myself in the foods I'm going to eat, or limit in my enjoyment of the social interactions and stuff like that. I'm just gonna, enjoy myself on those days, and whatever that means for you, and whatever that means for me, that's where I'm going to play it. But I also know that there's going to be other things that we have that I have over the next couple months, right? There's going to be other people that want to get together, and other people that want to celebrate, and other people, that want to do things. And at those occasions, I'm going to pick and choose to maybe not let myself enjoy everything, right? Like, maybe I won't have the pie at that occasion, or I won't have the Christmas cookies at those occasions, because I know I have my birthday coming up, and I have the Christmas Eve already planned out that I want to enjoy myself at. So I have to be smart. You have to plan ahead. Look at your calendar. Know when your social engagements are. Okay, I have these 5 things that are going to happen over the next 5 weeks. Which ones do I want to? I can't enjoy myself at every single one. Which ones am I going to prioritize? Which ones am I going to, really enjoy myself at, and which ones am I going to say, okay, I'm going to be a little bit more reasonable here and stick to kind of a more quote unquote normal way of eating and stuff like that. And also make sure that you're gonna keep the exercise, the movement, the sleep, and the stress practices as best you can over the next 5 weeks as well. So that's kind of how I approach it. That's kind of how I encourage my clients to approach it as well. Obviously, everyone's different and how they want to approach things. So I always work with my clients on how they think they can best navigate things. But we generally just pick and choose the three or so special occasions that they have on their calendar, and I tell them just go to town, like enjoy yourself, right? Have fun. That's what these three occasions are. It doesn't mean that it has to be 21 days of or whatever the math ends up being, 35 days or whatever, um, of enjoyment, right? That's where we get in trouble. But if you have 3 days, it's not a big deal. Like that's dropping a buck, right? Again, out of 365 days, very small. Um, and I also obviously encourage them to keep all those other best practices that we talked about in line as well. So that's my thoughts on trying to mitigate the holidays or navigate the holidays, and still coming out the other side and being no worse off than you were, which again, I think it should be everyone's goal. You shouldn't be striving for improvement at this time of year. It's just too hard for most people. So I think if you just navigate so you're no worse off, you're great. You're doing good. And that's the goal most people should have. And if you have any thoughts or comments or questions or want to know more, or have other ideas, I'd love to hear them. Please leave them in the comments below. Shoot me a direct message, anything like that. Always happy to chat about these videos. Um, I don't have any open spots for one-on-one coaching, but if you do want to jump on my wait list, please go ahead and go to my homepage at rjbhealth.coach. Click on the schedule discovery call button, fill out the form, and we can get your name on the wait list. I'll shoot you a little email and we can chat a little bit about what you're looking for. And if eventually I do have some spots open, we can talk about working together then. But for all the free content I put out that again is completely actionable, meant to help and is pretty much what I apply on an individual basis when I do work with people. The newsletter is the place to be. So join my newsletter. You can scan the QR code up there, or you can go to rjbhealth.coach, click on the newsletter tab at the top, enter your email address, sign up for the newsletter, and everything that I work with on my clients is basically what I put out for free in my newsletter. And so if you really want to get a taste of how I work with people and my philosophy and tactics for helping people reach their goals, the newsletter is the place to be. And so jump on that as well. I don't know how many more videos I'm going to do for the rest of the year. So if this is the last time I do a video, happy holidays to everyone. If not, maybe I'll make another one. But the holidays are fast approaching, so please enjoy this time and do it with health in mind, and you'll be coming out the other side pretty well off, much better than most people. And we'll talk to you all soon.